Welcome everybody to another episode, round number two, Rasslin Bros podcast. I am your co-host Phantom, joined by my other co-host Soul, the Interrogator. Tonight's show, we're gonna be doing a little bit of recapping for y'all, a little bit of Clash in Italy, a little SmackDown Raw, and we will move forward from there. Welcome to everybody that's listening, that will listen, that will watch. Thank y'all for joining us. So
Hey, what up? We looks like we didn't have the intro this week. So apologies everybody out there watching. We're still working through this new system, and as things roll on, it's going to get a lot smoother and the quality's going to get a lot better. Just please be patient with us because we got a lot of good topics to talk to you about. We got Clash in Italy. I took a bunch of notes. AAA, the Mask versus Mask on El Grande Americano, and a lot of other really dope topics. So, man, without further ado, let's get into it, man.
alrighty. I think we're gonna start the night off with let's go Clash in Italy, since that was the pay-per-view we ended it
Okay.
on. So, your thoughts on Clash in Italy? What do you remember? What did you like? What did you didn't like?
Um, okay. So overall, I gave this like a B minus grade. It was good. There were some really good, solid matches. I liked the Oba Femi match a lot. I liked the Cody versus Gunther match. Even the controversial ending was really good. But overall, it just felt like another Raw or SmackDown episode with more matches. There wasn't anything that really super popped for me on this. So I mean, I liked it. It was solid. I thought like Cody versus Gunther, I gave that a B grade. I gave Jade versus Rhea a C plus grade. Um, I love Jade Cargill, and I love that she's wrestling with Rhea Ripley, who can help carry her through a match. But there was some weird stuff going on. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but when Alicia Taylor came on to announce them, they were both lip syncing what she was saying. It was really weird. I mean, like everything she was saying, they were lip syncing it. I was like, that's really weird. Why are they doing it? Uh, BFAB and Michin interfered. Charlotte interfered. Um, it seemed a little sloppy and cooperative on some parts. Man, I don't know why my camera light keeps going off. So I guess we'll go with this one. Um, Sorry about that. Um, I gave Oba versus Brock 2. I gave that a B plus grade. I thought it was really good. I kind of got pissed off because I hate when a PLE is over in a foreign country because it's like, early in the morning here and I'm finding out I'm getting spoilers on. So I had to get off of social media because I already it was already spoiled that Brock Lesnar had won. I was like, and you and I both predicted that that was going to happen. Um, and I thought it was a good match because Brock beat Oba without making Oba look weak, if that makes sense.
It
Seven
does.
F5s and three Kimura locks. You know, I mean, it was seven F5s, three Kimura locks, and the way he came out of those, it was great. It was a good match, and it's going to set up a good rubber match at SummerSlam in Minnesota. I think that'll be Brock's last match, and so that was a really good one. Um, they reported on the Mask versus Mask. Corey Graves officially apologized to Michael Cole because earlier when El Grande Americano first came out, he knew that Chad Gable, like as we all did, was the original El Grande Americano. I put a laugh emoji next to that. Um, and then we can get into that later. That was a really good match, but that wasn't a part of this. So we'll cover that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But Soul versus Ruka versus Becky Lynch, I wasn't a fan. I gave that a D grade. That was the really I Soul Ruka needs some more work. I'm sorry, she just the Soul Snatcher. You have to be perfect with that, and she never is. It's like it's a really complicated move, and the timing was off. Uh, Becky was carrying the match. The fake looking forearm uppercuts looked really bad. The missed Soul Snatcher into the armbar, into the crossface, into the disarmer to a 2 count. Um, the X Factor up the top of the rope was pretty good. Um, let's see. Yeah, there's some botched flip moves, almost hitting her head on the ring. Yeah, and then Saul Ruka won the match with another Saul Snatcher, and she's good. Like, I think she has a lot of potential, but I think they might have rushed it on bringing her up because she needs work. She's one of those people who wasn't a wrestling fan growing up, and so she's still learning the psychology of wrestling. She's got a lot of charisma and she's got a lot of promise. I just think they might have rushed it a little bit with her. Roman versus Jacob, the tribal combat, I gave that a B grade. That was a really good match. I really liked that match. And yeah, the stare down, the crowd chants, the lockup. Jacob was in control for some of it. They went out into the crowd in the concession stand, which over in Italy, it was in a really weird spot. It's not like in America where it's outside of the seating arrangement. It was like in the middle. It was kind of weird. They're fighting back around the ring, and then Slim Jim tables. I hate that they put Slim Jim on the tables. Yeah, it was just a really good match, but I noticed there was no blood, which is okay. They didn't have to shed blood, but it's something like tribal combat. And it's supposed to be brutal and this and that. And it felt like just it was a false count anywhere match type thing, but it was still a really good match. I enjoyed it. And Roman won, and Jacob eventually he had to acknowledge Roman as his tribal chief. So, what were your thoughts, bro?
Mine are pretty brief on this. Some of it you saw that you can tell that it's an overseas PLE because they did try to wave some storyline stuff in there. The Solo sitting at ringside with the MFTs against Tribal Combat. Disagree with you a little bit about the no blood part. They always say if you're gonna bleed, bleed for a reason. And in that instant, I don't think that was warranted. The chaos itself was good enough to where you didn't have to have the blood in it because they wasn't gonna. This was tribal combat, but you got to remember there was still respectful family.
Hit him with a true, but he hit him with a toolbox. Come on, man! Like I'd be bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, well, that's that Samoans a different breed mentality about that. So
yeah,
especially Jacob or Roman. So that part is that. The backtrack. Let's see. We're gonna go the Soul Ruka thing. I understand it's just she's too damn athletic, too damn talented and charisma that you can put her with people. She's athletic enough. It's just the psychology part, yes, and talking to her in spots of that big of a magnitude because over that crowd is, it's crazy, batshit crazy and loud. So some of that you can actually, a fan actually, captured some audio or something of that match, I believe. So I think that's just one of the things she's gonna have to work through, coming from NXT. You can also probably say putting the Intercontinental title on her. nerves, trying to be in the right spot. So we'll see what that looks like going forward. Let's see, the Oba Brock match. That match kept Oba strong. What we mean by strong is, he's been a monster amongst monsters. He's been a beast amongst beasts. And you don't beat a beast like Obafemi with one F5, one Kimura. You don't do that to him, especially with his momentum. So for that match, you keep it the way it was, keep Oba strong enough to where you're going to have to basically, wrestling terms, kill him or put him to sleep. The Gunther match as well, Gunther Cody match actually was the same way because you kept Gunther strong and controversy for a reason for another match, which, excuse me, in regards to SmackDown this Friday, that match is now official. We just find the stipulation out in a week because Gunther, foot's under the rope, so that keeps Gunther strong because he is probably the best heel in WWE right now. Hell, I don't think it is a question. He is the best heel in WWE right now. So you keep that where that is. You tease Cody a little bit, with a little dirty pool, but he's been teasing that, so that's keep going. Jade and Rhea. I understand putting Jade with Rhea to feud, because Rhea can carry the match, but from another standpoint, from a Jade standpoint, that's 2 losses. You lost her at WrestleMania, then you lose Clash of Italy or Backlash. Yeah, what is it doing to Jade's character at this point in time is the question you really have to ask. Because youngins gotta lose, you put a little something on her, but can her character withstand and recover from this? And I guess if we're looking at it from a forward standpoint, that will point to King of the Ring, Night of Champions, excuse me. Night of Champions.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, I know there's a little lag in there, so I didn't want it to make it sound like I was cutting you off, but it was actually after you finished talking, but there's this lag going on. But what are your opinions on B-Fab and Mia Yim being a part of Jade Cargill's stable or lackeys thereof? Me personally, I don't like it. I think they kind of weaken Jade a little bit, and they're not very strong characters to me. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on that before we move on to the rest of
you got Michin being the veteran out of all of this, B-Fab being still green, young herself. It makes Jade look weak, but it also is how they have him constructed in that manner, which means, to me, if you're gonna do that, then go whoop everybody's ass. Go for real. The 3 of y'all, go make enemies. Go put some heat out there. Go just fuck with people. Go just beat women's asses. And even if you want to, you can add a 4th, if something like that happens, you just start kicking ass. But, it's not strong enough or believable enough in that aspect of it. Like, the Saturday night's main event part of it kind of kicks back in where it was Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss, excuse me. And it's like, you're not taking that over B-Fab, Michin, and Jade Cargill. You're just not doing it unless. So that part of your question is like, I understand your thought process on that.
Yeah, I would think that it would be better to have somebody like maybe somebody who would whoop just as much ass as Jade, like a Jordan Grace, or another strong wrestler, like 2 more strong wrestlers who would come in and they just, I don't know. When I look at BFAB and Michan, I keep wanting to call her old name, and I see those two, and I'm just like, I'm not that impressed. Like um, Raquel Rodriguez in the Judgment Day, she's amazing because she's like their powerhouse. So I think her having two little lackeys that are like weaker than her doing her dirty work, it just doesn't add anything to her aura. It doesn't make her look stronger. It doesn't make her look scarier. It's just kind of like when they come out, I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go, you know. And I like Mi Chen. I like her, and I like BFAB when she was with what who was that? Top Dollar and the other guy, the 3-person group, and everybody called him Flop Dollar because he was always botching and stuff like that. Anyway, I sure in that capacity when she was a manager, kind of a managerial role, but um, yeah, I would just think there would be better if there was somebody a little bit stronger who would be add more intimidation because Jade she's beautiful, but she's also very strong and she has a presence about her. And it's just like when you got these two, there's nothing, no razzle dazzle with these two next. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Well, in this case, when we talk about factions and stuff like that, you either have a strong wrestler, a strong mouthpiece. In this case, a strong mouthpiece would probably have helped them out a little bit. But that asks the
Yeah.
questions of who's a strong mouthpiece that doesn't wrestle nowadays? That manager role that could have took that from because could have taken that role for them. So that's a interesting thing also. But it is, we'll see how this plays out in due time. And
Yeah.
what do they do with her, as far as Night of Champions goes. Uh Anything else from Night of Clash in Italy I missed? I think we got everything from that.
Hey,
Now,
what
mhm,
was your thoughts on the Becky match? Becky. Oh wait, you already talked about Becky and Sol Ruka, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was it.
Uh
Sorry.
the You brought this up, and I'm gonna try to blend a couple things together. You brought up the AAA Mania Grande Americanos versus Mask match, which Chad Gable is involved in, so we can kind of combine some stuff here a little bit because now that we got new information, we can kind of build it out this way. That match, you haven't seen that match, clips of that match, damn good match. But that also speaks to Ludwig Kaiser's underrated workability and Chad Gable just being fucking Chad Gable for as many years as he's been there, and he's been underrated. Shorty G fans, if you don't know Chad Gable, go look up the original American Alpha tag team with him and Jason Jordan, and you probably saw something that you would have seen something that was special. So he's always been that. So Chad Gable is, I know this is a big ass compliment I'm going to pay him, but I think it's kind of warranted. He is about the closest thing to Kurt Angle you probably will see.
Bingo. I agree with you 100%, bro. That's what I've always said. He's an incredible worker. He is such a great worker, and he's like for his size, has a lot of strength. He's strong, and he has good ring psychology, and he's a great promo too. Um, I just think Vince McMahon just did not want to put him in the Kurt Angle spot, even though the fans were kind of clamoring for that. So they're trying all this other that Shorty G and the long hair looked so weird on him. And I honestly, when he first started the El Grande Americano gimmick, I I felt that was a slap in the face of not to luchador. I mean, yes, to luchador wrestling, but also to him as a talent. I felt it was a waste of his talent. I'm glad it came to what it did because you got Ludwig Kaiser, who's an incredible talent too, but he was all under shadow. Then Chad Gable goes down, and he ends up taking the mantle of El Grande Americano, and the crowd in Mexico loves him. They have never liked Chad Gable as El Grande Americano because he doesn't speak any Spanish, and Ludwig speaks fluent Spanish. Like, he knows slang terms, he knows inflections. He's really good with his Spanish, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's like getting over because he deserves it. He's also a great talent. So you get these two together, and it was just, man, it was a perfect storm. It was really good. It was better than anything that was on Clash of Italy, in my opinion. That match got an A+ out of me. So
Yeah, it speaks to that, and it's just, and speaks to Chad Gable. He took the Shorty G shit, got it over, even though it was comedy. He got the Shorty G thing over. He got all around the Americano over. Okay, well, how about just let him be Chad fucking Gable now, because he's done everything else. Now, the one thing I will say in them doing that, I believe now speaks towards another thing that also is coming. I'm gonna feature, because now that frees up the Creed brothers. There's a part about that comes into play. This, it frees up the Creed brothers, and the Creed brothers, if you don't know, were, I forget their fucking names, the two names they called them, because I just like, well, that's the fucking Creed brothers. Like, I'm not even learning their names.
I think it was like Grande something Hermanos, because Hermanos means brothers in Spanish.
Yeah.
And so something like that.
I never learned it. I was like, that's the Creed brothers. But what Chad Gable doing when he doing now, that also frees up the Creed brothers to go back to be on Raw as well. So, because obviously New Day's gone, you don't have many tag teams, so that could be something that also comes down the pipe. And if you haven't seen the Creed brothers before, they were the Grande Bros Hermanos. Trust me, Creed brothers, you might want to catch up on them.
Agreed. I think they were good. They were another one. I felt, even as alpha as the alpha males or whatever, the new
Alpha Academy
group with or they came after Alpha Academy, whatever. I just felt that they were used kind of silly, like silly sidekicks to Chad Gable, and I always thought they were such a good tag team. Speaking of which, what's her name that was in that trio? The girl that was with Chad and the brothers. What's her name?
Ivy Nile.
I can't think of her name. Ivy Nile. There we go. That, going back to what we're talking about, just real briefly, Jade Cargill, I think she would have been a good, like her and Jordan Grace would have been perfect because they're both strong, they're both intimidating, they could whoop some ass. Anyway, case in point, I'm done with that. Let's move forward to this. But I wanted to mention that she's another really good talent that is being grossly misused. She's got such good work ethic. She knows, she has really good ring psychology. She cuts a really good promo, and that girl is strong. So I don't know. They need to utilize her a little bit better. But same with the Creed brothers too. So I hope you're right, and I hope that puts them in the tag team hunt. the tag team division really mid right now, for real, unfortunately.
Yes. Uh, Now another part of the card we're gonna go to that now has played itself out, and this is the big one in the room right now. Jacob Fatu has now acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that he did it because that's the rules of the game, rules of the match. The one knee part, I don't know about that part. And joining the bloodline, didn't like that either. That part of it, it could have been acknowledgement. It could have been a mutual respect thing to me. But this also is a part of things that's also to me is coming. Jey Uso, old Jey Uso, and it's seems like this is working its way towards this. Jey Uso's going to be an asshole and a pain in the ass. And he's trying to get, if you haven't noticed, he's trying to get away from the Yeet movement. He's really trying to get himself out of that to a more serious kind of character, but he's also annoying as hell with the shit. But if we're going to say all of that about Jacob Fatu, then yeah, Jacob's going to want to smack the shit out of Jey. Hell, even Roman might want to eventually, because I believe this is one of those things that's coming down the pipe that Jey's going to be. And even Roman kind of set himself up for his own demise afterwards when he told Jimmy, he tells Jey, he says, you've held this one, meaning the world heavyweight title, but you haven't held the other one. King of the Rings coming in. Go get that one. Remember, there's two sides to the table. So that means if we're staying true to this, he's gonna have to cross some people to get to that title, meaning Cody and some other people. So have you seen that part of it, with the acknowledgement and whatnot?
I did. Yeah, I did. And I as well, I didn't like it. Um, I hope it's not setting up another war game thing with the MFTs and they're now called the First Family, not the Bloodline anymore. But I have a feeling that this isn't over. Like Jacob has acknowledged Roman and has fallen in line, but I have a feeling Jacob's planning something. I don't know what, but he's planning something, and it just seems it's kind of a flat ending to something as momentous as Tribal Combat. I love Jacob Fatu. I kind of wanted to see like maybe a part 3 where the Usos turn on Roman and Jacob takes control of the First Family and then kicks Roman out, because Roman's supposed to be, from what WWE said, he took all of his June scheduled appearances off. So, but he also said he was coming back to full time. So I'm like,
Correction.
how is that going to play
Correction. He
out?
never said full
To
time.
me, it would be. What he
That's
say?
the part people miss. He said he's going to be here all summer.
Oh,
That's why everybody took
okay.
that. It's like, nah, he said he's going to be here all summer. Y'all missed that part. Like, no. He ain't going to be here all year.
Well, he ain't gonna be here all summer because he's took all his June dates off. So
Maybe.
we'll see. I just don't think this is over between Jacob and Roman at all. So
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I think it's also now it's Jacob the pit bull, Jacob the Samoan werewolf, now Jacob the thinking man's werewolf.
Yeah.
Where he learns how to play the game well enough and just. But to your point though, there is that little nugget of a war-ish coming, because to the part about SmackDown, he's trying to get Royce Keys, and Solo said he made the call for Royce Keys.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Jacob, it wasn't Roman. Solo saying he made the call. So, and Solo tells Royce, there's a war coming. So, if there's a war coming, you know what that means coming down the line somewhere. So, that's something to keeping me in mind for because Night of Champions is going to be Night of Champions first off. So, I'd be curious and thinking of Night of Champions because remember the old Night of Champions? The format was all champions faced each other.
Yes, I liked it better that
So
way.
all champions faced each other that night for bragging rights, quote unquote. But now they added this King of the Ring to Night of Champions. King and Queen of the Ring to Night of Champions. So I'm particularly not going to say we're going to get a Cody versus Roman in Night of Champions, even though the match should either be a WrestleMania or pay-per-view, but Cody versus Roman should probably be a third one, should happen at WrestleMania. So we'll see what the Night of Champions card looks like. And I
remember when
believe,
King of the Ring had its own pay-per-view.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, exactly.
And now it's turned into a tournament. I'm like, okay.
Well, the King and Queen of the Ring, they don't do it like they used to do it. So they remember they used to do the King and the Queen of the Rings. A lot of times you would have the quarterfinals or semifinals and the finals all in one night. And they would crown it in one night. They would get it done in one night. And then you would have, maybe matches in there. Now they're not doing it all in one night. So we're not doing it in one night. I guess you can blend it together to Night of Champions. And that's fine.
And they're doing it as fatal four ways. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't like multiple man matches. I think they're terrible. They're so fake looking. You get one person gets punched, he rolls out of the ring for 5 minutes and he's dead. Like fatal four ways, three ways, all that stuff. I don't like all that. I just would rather be one-on-one for each person, all the way through. Fatal four ways are stupid. So anyway.
Well, when you're pushing it that way, I can understand your frustration about it. But you always know fatal four ways work when sometimes they're not forced together and there's always chemistry between the wrestlers. Because you can always tell in this instance about it who's worked together with each other long enough to know where everybody is, to kind of know, when to go dead, when to go off to the side. To you get that. Sometimes these matches sometimes now feel forced together, so you get that clunkiness of a match.
Yeah,
and that's just what it is.
I thought that WrestleMania match between Rhea, Io Sky, and what's her name? God, man, my brain is not Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
That three-way match they did was one of the best three-way matches I've ever seen in my life. And it was totally engaging by the three of them through the whole match. It was great. The psychology, the choreography, everything was really done well. And it's just I think a lot of these wrestlers need to look at that as the example when they're doing these kind of matches and learn, stop throwing these, like you said, throwing these just people together and who've never worked together and don't have any chemistry and don't, understand how things work. I don't know.
Well, you segued into my next part of it. The women division right now, where do you see that? What's going on? Because it's been a little quiet on some fronts, clunky on some fronts. Like Liv Morgan doesn't have a match to Clash in Italy. Like, yeah. What's your state of the women's division as you see what's going on?
Liv Morgan is a world champion, and yet she's in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Why? The whole point of that? The winner gets to be Queen of the Ring and then gets a title shot of their choosing. Why put Liv Morgan in there? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. It just, I mean, do they not have another talent they could put in place of her? Um, I, I think Raquel Rodriguez needs a better push. You know, she's won some tag team titles, and that's true, but they just keep making her Liv's lackey. And I saw like there was a segment Liv and Raquel were talking. Liv was like, "Oh, me and Dom, we're gonna win the King and Queen of the Ring, and that'd be great. There might even be a chance I'd have to face one of my Judgment Day sisters." And she said some side comment, and if you look at Raquel, she looks away. She's, like her smile goes away. She looks away and has this like disgusted look on her face, like like who does she think? I hope they set up something between those two because I think she's a great talent, and this thing with the women's Intercontinental title, uh, they keep giving Becky the belt because they can't seem to find a decent champion. I mean, they had one in Punk's wife, AJ, but she was just doing this one run and then, one and done run because she wanted to give back to the fans, and she's gone. And so they tried doing it with Lyra Valkyria, who I will admit is getting better. Her in-ring work is getting a lot better, and she doesn't. I don't know if you ever noticed, but when she come to the ring, she used to have this terrified look on her face. It was a smile. It was so weird. She'd be flapping her wings, and she looked so. And when she'd cut promos, her voice would be shaking, and her hands would be shaking, and her in-ring work was really botchy. Like I remember SummerSlam, her against Becky, and it was just awful. It was one of the worst matches I've ever seen, but she's getting better. So they keep putting her, Maxine Dupree, as champion, and now it's Sol Ruca, and it's like I feel like the IC belt has been an experiment, and when it doesn't work, they put it back on Becky, and I'm like, they need to get a stronger IC title worker. Who's the U.S. champion? Is it Tiffany Stratton?
Tiffany Stratton.
Who? Yeah, where's she been? I haven't seen her at all.
No,
like
she was.
She didn't have a match. She does. Huh?
She was. She had a match on SmackDown. Yeah, she was on SmackDown with Jade and Rhea versus. I mean, not Jade. Yeah. Rhea and Tiffany Stratton, Jade, shit, and Michin. That was Friday.
Okay. But my point
it's her. It's her and Chelsea Green has been like flirting as a thing. Chelsea Green.
Okay. But my point being is Tiffany Stratton is a former WWE Women's Champion, and now she's gone down to the mid card, and it's like, I didn't think she was a bad worker. I think they might have jumped the gun a little bit, but I think she held her own against Charlotte at WrestleMania. Like that girl's got grit. She got her freaking teeth knocked out. That was crazy. So she's got some grit. I think they just kind of killed her push or downgraded her push, I guess you could say. And then you got Chelsea Green. You got who's I always get her name wrong in the Judgment Day. Rochelle Rodriguez's partner. What's her name?
Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez. Excuse me.
yes, Roxanne Perez, she's small, but she's a good worker. I like her,
Yeah.
and I think they need to disband Judgment Day. She's a good worker. Like this is gonna sound really funny, but if you ever watch women run the ropes and they kind of do this little clunky bounce off thing, that girl when she runs the rope, she goes down the second rope and she bounces off that thing like she runs ropes really good. She looks so good when she works. And I think she's another incredible talent. I mean, why not give her an IC title or a US title run? Put somebody in there who's gonna like carry this title and not make it a weirdo experiment. And then you had Natty who came in and was training Maxine Dupree to be this big tough chick and with pretty hair, and then she becomes IC champion for a couple weeks and then loses again, and then now she's back to doing stuff with Alpha Academy and then kind of flirting about being with Division because it's that background stuff that's going on, and I'm like, I don't know if going in division would be a good thing for her, but I just think overall the women's division is a mess right now. Uh, I like the women's tag team with Alexa and Charlotte. I think they're a pretty good team, and I always like Speed and Power. That's the two combos I like in a tag team. I think they're good. But overall, the women's division is a absolute mess right now.
Um, it can clear itself up. Injuries right now played a part of this. I don't know behind the scenes, kind of on that part. The Judgment Day King of the Queen of the Ring thing is an interesting thing because on one hand, Raquel can win it and choose live and just say the hell with it, and we see it coming. On the other hand, if you want to throw something crazy out there, let's just say Liv Morgan does win the Queen of the Ring, doesn't have an opponent, and they throw one on her, which is Raquel Rodriguez. You can do it in a lot of different ways because at one point in time they were teasing Roxanne Perez as taking over the Judgment Day at one point in time when Liv was out. So can you do it? Yeah, you could do it. Just depends on how Raquel. I think this is going to depend on how Raquel performs in this tournament. If you want to say like to see if they pull the trigger, which if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They've already set it in motion. But it'd be interesting to see how fans kind of gravitate towards it. I've heard her new interest music because I saw she had some a little different. So I was like, oh, okay. They're trying to do a little something with her. So it just
You
depends
talking about
on
Liv?
what. Um, Tag team division, I think is cool because you got Flair, Bliss, you got Nia and Lash can come back to that, so you got a little something there. The Tiffany Stratton thing, that was a case of stale, kind of wasn't over. Not to mention, who knows if that Charlotte Flair incident, didn't rub some people the wrong way. Maybe that's
Oh
still
yeah.
some punishment to be paid for that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, Google that. Just trust me, you understand what I'm saying. Uh, Plus, you got Bianca out with pregnant. You got Naomi coming back from pregnancy. Stephanie McClure is out right now. So, and they've trimmed a lot of this. So, you're pushing Soul Ruka a little harder, maybe, than you probably wouldn't have. You're giving Last Legend a little bit of shine. You're Raquel Rodriguez is getting some more shine. You'll just have to see how this kind of plays itself out. Intercontinental title. The women's Intercontinental title was fairly new. It doesn't have the prestige as the men's one. So, because the men's Intercontinental title, if you won that, most of the time you were going to be a world champion, WWE champion, eventually down that pipe. It most of the time. So The Intercontinental title for the women doesn't have that power to it. So it's a play with it. You know,
Mm.
you ain't got that workhorse yet because Becky's not going to be that just at this stage of her career, being a mom. Becky's not going to be the workhorse for that title. You hope so. Ruka can be that, or somebody bubbles up for that. Tiffany Stratton can kind of carry the United States title in that regard. And Queen of the Ring will sort some of this out. I think
True.
that will sort a lot of this out. As far as what we got, the women's wrestling that we do have, wrestlers we do have available in this, and then women being pregnant, coming back from pregnancy or coming back from injury, we'll see that down the pipe. So I think the women's division is just it has that clunkiness, but the whole WWE right now is kind of clunky in that though. Storyline. We see some storylines bubbling. We've seen some heel turns we think might happen. Any heel turn you want to happen, or one you see coming from a man or a woman's perspective, you think would be good?
Um, I'm starting to think LA Knight might be turning heel. He's getting really frustrated with Roman Reigns, and he's kind of, Roman Reigns right now is very over, and LA Knight is not like he's treating him like he's a heel. They're doing these really strange heel turns, kind of like Sammy's heel turn. Like he hasn't turned. He's still the last real good guy, and he still placates to the crowd even though they boo the crap out of him. But then he does heel like work and he complains and whines all the time. So I've kind of liked Sammy's heel turn so far. It wasn't like a shock, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened type of thing. It's just been naturally, I think they took his go home heat and they turned it into good heel heat to keep him working. Um, yeah, but I think LA Knight is is LA Knight or Jey Uso is going to be turning. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm sure Jey Uso, like you said, he got rid of the Yeet movement, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's angry all the time. You know, um, like with Jacob, you had good cop, bad cop. You had Jimmy playing good cop. You had Jay playing bad cop all the time. And then same with like LA Knight. When they would deal with LA Knight, it was good cop, bad cop with him. Um, so it shows that Jimmy and Jay aren't on the same page. And there's something that's brewing. Um, as far as the women goes, I see Raquel maybe doing a face turn, like you were talking about her possibly going up against Liv Morgan. It's either going to be a double turn, like where Liv, like Judgment Day turns on Liv Morgan and Raquel beats her up and starts wrestling her or whatever, or vice versa, they kick her out of Judgment Day, um, whatever. That's one I see coming. Um, I was kind of thinking maybe Charlotte Flair was going to be one I was going to see turn, but because the whole thing with Rhea, but they got on the same page. That was kind of a weird development, but um, and then of course I don't think I think Jacob Fatu is gonna he's got something up his sleeve and he's gonna go full on heel here. Um, but yeah, what about you? What are your thoughts? What you got?
Well, my obvious ones are the J one, Raquel one. I have one for you that is very interesting, and I've been hoping they've done this for years. I think I said this the last pod. Montez Ford,
Mm,
and I say this because him and Seth Rollins, Street Profits, are playing around with division right now. And the way Raw kind of ended with that match with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker and Montez Ford is out there. I believe this is that 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 catalyst that makes Montez Ford. I love the Street Profits, but I've said it for years. Montez Ford,
Yeah.
got nothing against Angelo Dawkins, like the way he works and all that. But if there are rumors that Montez Ford didn't want to ever break up the Street Profits, they come together. But I think it's comes a time and place where Montez might need to step out and be who he was and be who we think he is by himself.
Okay.
So that's my one of the ones I've been hoping for a very, very long time.
Hmm.
Because I want to see. I mean, he's got the physical gifts. He talk? Yeah. Does he have that charisma, that high charisma, that killer evil face? Yep, he has all that. He actually could be the asshole of the whole conversation. He could actually be the asshole if he wanted to be. He literally could be the Shawn Michaels. He could
Yeah.
be the Shawn
True.
Michaels of the Rockers.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
He could be that, and you can keep his wife out of this. Like, you can keep his wife out of this and let him be him, which in real time, if you really think about the timeline of this, it matches up because Bianca's out pregnant. So it's like, if you're going to do this,
He's got to work.
hmm, if you're going to do this, now will be the time to do it because she's at home, pregnant, and he can go. So that would be a good one. Uh,
I agree.
Now the other one that's interesting that just popped in my head. Now here's the one that's interesting that popped in my head since you just said something you said about the Usos. We think Jay's gonna be the asshole, but what if Jimmy turns out to be the one? Because they've tried to rebrand Jimmy multiple times. They gave his own music, Big Jim. He's never really caught on. When Jay started, he was out injured, the whole thing. So he's never really had that thing to himself. So that's just one to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, but they already did that with Jimmy, though. That's the thing. It'd be kind of weird to do it again. I think it would be a better turn of events if it reversed, where it was like now Jay is the heel and Jimmy's is. I would if that happened to Jimmy, I'd be like, again, come on, like come on, do better. I think Jimmy turning heel would be silly. I don't know. He's just not. I don't know what it is. When he's in a team, he does great. He's a good promo. He's funny. He's got charisma. When he wrestles by himself, he's boring. He's uninspiring. I just don't like watching Jimmy as a solo wrestler. I don't like, uh, you know, Jay kind of grabbed the bull by the horns and did the yeet thing. And, he got over on, he rode that bull pause. He rode that pause until the very end, until it just killed itself out. But the problem with Jay is not as good a worker as Jimmy is. Jay is very sloppy, misses a lot of things. I don't know if you notice in his promos when he talks, there's a lot of times where he forgets his lines like badly, to where he's like sitting there for like 2 minutes of blank time. He's like biting his knuckle and trying to figure out what he said. he's and I think Jimmy's overall a better worker and a better promo than his brother is, but his brother just knows how to get it done. So I don't know. I think Jimmy needs to stay where he's at. I guess I don't know, but
Well, Jay would always gas himself up before he got to the ring. That was part of his damn problem. They had to slow that shit down. He'd be Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
He'd be Ultimate Warrior gas to the gills by the time he got to the ring.
Yeah.
That problem would happen as well.
Feel you.
But well, it's interesting to see. We got anybody in the chat? Anybody in there viewing, watching with us tonight?
It doesn't show anybody in the chat.
Hmm.
There's 0 people.
No.
We're off to a great start, Phantom.
And it's only uphill from here, brother. It's only uphill from here.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
But let's see.
Hey, I got some. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you got it. You got it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about little switch things up just a tiny bit. I was talking to my homegirl Shubzilla last night. Shout out Shubzilla and Bill Beats. For those who don't know, they're a hip hop duo out of Seattle, Washington. And Shubzilla, she is a huge wrestling fan. And she was telling me, oh, yeah, congrats on your podcast and yada, yada. And she wanted to talk about Danhausen. And it's kind of gone viral that during the playoffs, the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference Finals, that Danhausen cursed Cleveland, and then New York swept them, even though I think they were considered to be the favorites. And now, so everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Danhausen cursed," and which has helped get his persona over. And now you've got the San Antonio Spurs, who just knocked off the world champion Joklahoma Shitty Plunder. Fuck them. Go Sonics for life. And I really like Wemby. I was like, okay, I'm going to ride. Like, I feel that New York deserves a title because they haven't had one in a long time, but I'm going to ride with San Antonio because I like Wemby. I like Castile. I like Champagne. I like all those guys, right? Great squad. And then they lose 2 at home. And they're attributing this, and I know you're going to disagree with me because we talked offline. They attributed this to Danhausen's curse. And whether you believe in curses or not, I think as wrestling fans, it really helps boost his character because as goofy as he is, he's gotten super over in WWE lately. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Is he over like hell? Yeah, as Cody famously said, he's the safest shirt to damn buy. Because if you buy anybody else, you're picking a side. And I think Danhausen just doing his thing is interesting. AEW had him under the umbrella, and then WWE just took what he did and just did it, just let him be him. So if they win, which I'm gonna say they're not, but it's cool just to see. I want to know what he's cooking under that sheet. To be honest with you, what gimmick are they gonna come up for that damn experiment for Danhausen that's gonna work? I'd be interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah. So you're not buying into this whole curse thing, huh?
Not right.
You think it was just
not right.
Picked the right team.
Not right now. Not for my personal feelings. Or hell no. Fuck no. I hope not. Shit no.
Well, yeah, because San Antonio just lost their home court advantage now. They lost 2 at home, and it was all in the fourth quarter in the last couple minutes where things just fell apart. Both games, I was like, what is going on? These guys were up by 14 at the half on game 1. I was like, and they blew that lead and then kind of got it back. But then by the end of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This isn't the what's y'all's sports podcast? All purpose.
Yeah.
I know this ain't all purpose, but like I have not watched basketball since the Seattle Sonics left out of protest. I love basketball. That's my favorite sport. And now that I got ESPN2s because we're watching the PLEs, I'm like, well, I better take advantage of this app since I'm paying $30 a month for this. And so I've been watching the NBA and watching the finals, and it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm not mad at New York. I want San Antonio to win because I like that team, and any team that beats OKC is my squad. Period. I really I hate Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, Personal reasons. But we're gonna get a squad back anyway. My whole point to that thing was I just thought it was so funny how Danhausen curses Cleveland and curses he curses San Antonio, and now New York's up 2-0, and I'm like, man, if this happens, I'm gonna be kind of me and Danhausen gonna have some words. You gonna have another jar of teeth to have. So, no, I'm gonna do anything to Danhausen, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. I thought that was a cool. When me and Shubzilla were talking about that last night, I was like, I'm gonna bring this up in the pod. So anyway, Shubs, I hope you watch this, bro. Thank you for the idea, and we'd love to have you come on sometime.
Sure.
She Phantom, you'd love her. She is a firecracker. She is smart. She's witty. She's funny, and she's a dope motherfucking MC. So, um, yeah, we got to get her on here as a guest sometime. So anyway, shout out to Shubzilla, and that's all I'm gonna say about Danhausen.
Nah, that's good. That's good. Hey, we can make that happen if she wants to. We can make that happen anytime she's ready. More than welcome.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun, soul man. We got some stuff done. We gonna pop this back up again. Not this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, unless y'all ask for us.
Weeks.
2 weeks. We're gonna start doing it weekly after a little bit, but we're gonna start slow 2 weeks, y'all. So hopefully y'all don't forget about us, but don't worry, we're getting better. We'll get better. Don't worry, we'll get the intro back. Cause don't worry, I love the intro just as much as y'all do. Soul put his foot on the intro. To everybody that will watch this, that tuned in, that knows about it. Hey man, y'all don't be scared, man. Y'all come to Safe Wrestling Channel. Any wrestling heads out there, young, old, don't care, black, white, hell, we don't care. We just here for the fun. We love wrestling. We're just some old wrestling guys. Wrestling podcast talking about a thing we grew up with and we still love. Yes, I know people. Wrestling is staged or fake, but do you think we care? No. I'm sorry.
I don't.
General Hospital and Young and the Wrestlers been on longer than as long as wrestling is. And y'all still think, and still Victor's still the man, and hell, how many kids he got or whatever. I'm sorry. Leave us wrestling fans alone. Don't come for me. Don't come for wrestling fans. We got something for y'all
Hey,
there.
yeah, let me intercede here. When people come up to me and they go, "Man, you know that stuff is fake, right?" And I go, "Well, hey, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite movie?" And they go, "Oh, it's the Terminator or Scarface or whatever." And I go, "You know that shit's fake, right?" And then I correct them. I say, "Wrestling isn't fake. Wrestling is scripted. It's predetermined. Those bumps, they hurt. I dare you to go ahead and take a chair shot to your face and tell me that it's fake. They don't put pillows in them chairs. I mean, yeah, and if you watch AEW, sometimes the fake cinder blocks they crumble apart before they hit them. I don't know if you've ever seen the Phantom, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get some gimmick stuff. But I guarantee you, going through a table hurts. Everybody in the division, except for Austin Theory, has been injured severely. So when people say, "Oh, that's just fake shit," I'm just like, man, get the fuck out of here. So is movies, and the violence in the movies is fake. The violence in wrestling is real. It's just that the matches are predetermined. There's a difference. It's a men's soap opera. Don't come for me, just like Phantom said. Don't come for me. Don't at me. Leave me the fuck alone. If you don't like wrestling, go watch UFC. I don't give a fuck. Go watch whatever the fuck you go watch Power Slap. I don't care. Shit, we wrestling fans over here. Shit.
Facts.
Ugh, I'm getting on my soapbox.
Facts. And with that being said, for Brother Soul the Interrogator, I am Phantom. Hey y'all, thank y'all for checking us out. Whenever you check us out, wherever you check us out, we greatly appreciate it. And we'll see y'all again in 2 Saturdays. And we're gonna have something a little more cooking for y'all. Don't worry. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace. Dang,